love, I'm Carisa Montooth. I help high achieving single women over 40 attract their right person. Almost 90% of my clients are in happy, healthy relationships within about 6 months of our work together. And today, I'm going to share a dating strategy with you that is going to make it so much easier and so much more fun for you to meet potential partners and really meet the kind of people that you're compatible with and that you can have a wonderful relationship with. So, the vast majority of my clients hate going online. So if you hate going online, you are not alone. So many people hate going online. If you hate it, don't do it. Please don't do it. There are so much better ways to actually meet people in real life, ways that are actually a lot more fun, that are easier, and that feel just much more organic, for us to connect. You're not going to miss out on anything if you don't do online dating. People have been meeting and falling in love and committing to each other and getting married since way before dating apps ever existed. And if you hate it, the energy that you're going to bring into that experience of online dating is not going to be great anyway, so just don't do it. Just don't go over there. Whatever energy you're bringing into that situation with you, that is going to impact the kind of experience that you have there and what you attract to yourself in that experience. So if you hate it, it's just easier to avoid it because it's not going to be fun for you anyway. So what do you do instead? There is actually a much more fun thing that you can do that is easier and that actually helps with your own feeling of connectedness, creating friendships, and personal development and personal growth. So what you're going to do, and it doesn't have anything to do with, working with a matchmaker. It doesn't have anything to do with having friends set you up or with speed dating or anything like that. It's actually taking the entire focus off of dating completely. And I'll explain to you what I mean, because you're probably thinking, okay, but how does that help me actually meet people? Here is what you're going to do. Our strategy is for you to completely shift your focus away from dating, and instead you're going to focus on doing something that you actually love, but you're going to do that within community. So you're not going to do it alone, and you're not going to do it online. It's going to be an activity that you enjoy, or a hobby, or an interest, something like that you are passionate about. You're going to find a community that is centered around that thing and that meets regularly around every week. It is really the best. And I'm going to explain step by step how to do that and why that is beneficial and how easy that is. You're going to be able to just really quickly see how this is a much better way to do things than to actually try to go online and do all of those things. The thing about online dating is that you're really going cold into this situation with a stranger, and you're hoping that they will be compatible with you and be able to have a really important role in your life. And it's just not, it's not comfortable. It creates a lot of anxiety. You don't know if they're actually who they're presenting themselves to be. A lot of times it feels like a waste of time, and you have the same kinds of experiences over and over again. And when you do that, it shifts your beliefs about what's possible for you and can make you actually feel more and more isolated instead of feeling like you're connecting. So this is the opposite of all of that. This is going to be great. Okay. So step one is you're going to find that community that is centered around that activity that you love. And if you can't think of anything right now, don't worry. I'm going to share some examples for you of how you can connect with yourself to understand what community would be a good place for you. And I'm also going to give you some examples of specific communities where my clients and people that I know have met potential partners and people that they ended up dating. So number one, you're going to need to address this belief that you might have that says that you don't have time to do this, because that's a huge self-sabotage thing. It's a point of resistance for a lot of people, but I want you to think about that. You don't have time for developing connections. You don't have time for friendship. You don't have time for the potential for a love relationship. Like, what if you don't make time for those things in your life? What is important to you? What is a priority for you in your life if those things aren't? So try to reframe that and think instead, how can I create time for myself to do this? Your initial time commitment is like once a week. The second thing is, if you haven't thought about what types of activities, right? So the first thing was make the commitment to making the time, right? That's part of it, of finding the community. But then it's, okay, how do I know what kind of a community I would actually like to be in? A lot of times we haven't asked ourselves what our passions and interests are, and we're kind of disconnected to them because we're going to work, we're going home, and that's kind of all that we're doing. But there is an epidemic of loneliness in our country right now and all over the world, and we really need to connect to community. It's better for our mental health and our physical health and our emotional health. So we want to think about what is the kind of community that attracts you. What is the kind of activity or hobby that you're passionate about, that you can find a group of people who are also passionate about. And one way of doing that is asking yourself, if what do I keep promising myself that I will do as soon as I have more time? Or what did I used to do when I was younger until my schedule changed? What did I used to do that I really loved doing until my schedule changed? And a lot of times when you ask that question, the answer comes up to the surface for you. And don't discount it when it comes up. Actually sit with that for a minute and think, is it possible that I could continue with this activity? Could I reconnect with a community that does this? It might have even been that it was something that you used to do before, and then you moved, and you just haven't taken the time to reconnect with the community in your area that is centered around that passion, that hobby, that activity that you're passionate about. So those are two things involved in step one: finding that community and organization that is centered around doing that activity that you love. Okay, so make the time to do it and understand yourself. Understand what you want to do. Reconnect with that deep desire of what you love to do, so that you can find a community that's in alignment with that. So here are some communities where my clients and people whom I know have met their partners. One is through Toastmasters. So if you are an entrepreneurial type, if you're a small business owner, Toastmasters is a really popular kind of way of connecting. Less popular now than it used to be in the past, but that's okay. Tons of people are still going, and I have literally had clients meet their partners through Toastmasters. And if you're wanting to meet someone else, if you are an entrepreneur or a small business owner who wants to meet other entrepreneurs and small business owners, that's a good place to go, because the people who are, those are the people that you're going to meet. You're going to meet potential friends and potential partners who are doing the same thing that you're doing there, which is going to be developing your self-confidence and your public speaking skills. They have Toastmasters chapters all over the United States, and it's only about $60 a year to join. If you think about how much money people spend on dating apps, it's really a much better investment, because you're developing yourself all around. You're developing these amazing personal and professional skills, and having the potential to meet someone who's really aligned with you and wants to do the same kinds of things that you want to do. And if you go to the first, if you just want to go check it out, it's free to go check it out. You don't have to make a commitment to join immediately. A client of mine met someone through Toastmasters, and she was so impressed by him because he had very similar goals to hers. He was very financially stable. He was at a place in his life of emotional maturity where he had certain goals that he wanted to reach, that had to do with real estate and things that are kind of empire building things. He was very much into those things, and she was delighted to meet him. So Toastmasters is one of those places where you can meet people who are aligned with you if you're an entrepreneur. Sierra Club. So if you are, if environmental activism is really important to you, and if social justice is very important to you, Sierra Club is a good place to meet men who share those values, men who share liberal and progressive political values. You're also going to improve your mental and physical and social health, because you're going to be doing hikes and doing things out in natural beauty, surrounded in natural beauty. And it's a really inspiring thing to do. They're in every state. Sierra Club has chapters in every state, and it's only about $25 to join. So again, when you think about how much people spend on apps, or how much people spend on dates or different things like that, those things it's really a bargain, to kind of not only be part of this community, and develop deeper friendships, but also have the potential to date someone who's so much more aligned with you in terms of your interests. Another overlooked place to meet people who are aligned with you are dance classes. And here's the thing about dance classes. It needs to be a partnered dance class. So a type of dance that requires a partner. So Latin swing, ballroom, those are types of dances that require a partner. People always freak out because they think, well, if I'm single, I can't go to a dance class that requires a partner. Not true. It's actually expected that there are going to be a lot of single men and single women who are going to those classes. And instructors, even if you had a partner and you went with a partner, instructors break you up and have you dance, rotate through partners, because that's how they teach dance. It's not about just you going and dancing with one person the whole time. You're going to actually dance with different partners. I actually talked to my mom about this, because my mom is she was a swing dancer for a while. Recently, like within, I'd say the last 5 or 6 years, she was swing dancing very regularly. And she also is, she sings for her big band, and she has a very 40s kind of fashion sense. She has that kind of style. And so it was a natural fit for her to be part of that community and kind of part of that world. And what she was sharing with me is that one of the things she loved about swing dancing was how safe it was for single older women, because when they have events, the kind of chaperones or the event organizers are always kind of on the lookout to make sure that everyone is having a good time. If there are ever men who sort of overstep their boundaries, they are ejected immediately, because the event organizers want to make sure it always feels safe for lots of people to want to come. There also is a certain etiquette and manners and behavior that's expected at swing dancing events. So you will be asked to dance by someone. The men are taught that they need to, out of politeness, they need to make sure that every woman who's not dancing is asked to dance if she wants, and she can dance if she wants to. Sorry, I just almost went into safety dance right there. But anyway, so very welcoming, safe place. And it's the kind of thing where at the beginning of those events, you actually are taught. There's a little class at the beginning of a swing dance event for all of the beginners, so that they can learn some of the basic steps and basic movements. And then when you go into the actual event, there will be people that you know from that beginner class who will, you'll be familiar to them, they'll be familiar to you, and you'll be able to dance with each other in that setting as well. And of course, there are always volunteer groups that you can connect with through volunteermatch.org. There are church groups. If you're not a churchy person, if you consider yourself to be spiritual but not religious, you can check out the Centers for Spiritual Living and see what kinds of events they have going on. They usually have monthly kinds of things that are happening. And one of the greatest resources out there ever for finding activities in your area is meetup.com. Some experiences or places to avoid are events that are actually marketed specifically to singles, because they tend to attract a crowd that is rather desperate, and it's just not the energy that you want to be in. You want to be in the energy of doing something that you love, that you really enjoy, and that just makes you radiant, and you are relaxed, and you are happy, and you are at ease, and that's the kind of energy that you want to create friendships and potential dating situations in. So you don't want to go to singles mixers. You don't want to go to bars. You don't want to go to matchmaking events or hire matchmakers. I have another video about things to do before you consider hiring a matchmaker. Please check that out. And it explains the energy behind it. Investing and working with a matchmaker is a huge investment to make. And there are things that you want to know before you would do anything like that anyway. So this is a much easier and faster and more fun and a lot less expensive way for you to meet people. So step 1 was to choose your community. Step 2 is once you have chosen your community, you need to go to weekly events if possible. Go to their weekly events. This gives you a chance to get to know the regulars because you're going to become a regular. Okay, you're going to get to know the regulars and they're going to get to know you. And you don't even have to do anything special. You don't have to get there and then talk to everybody and network your way through it or anything like that. You can literally just go once a week and be your pleasant, lovely self. And just through spending time over and over again with the people there, you will just get to know each other gradually. You'll just become familiar enough with each other, and it will start with like a passing acquaintance and you'll wave whatever, and then there'll be people that you have a deeper connection to that are friendlier with you, and you'll develop a rapport, and all of that will happen really naturally and organically. And some of that will lead to friendships that'll be great, and some of that will lead to you being asked out on dates. So you're going to do that for a couple of months, and another problem that it solves for you is that it gets you out of the energy of loneliness. It gets you out of the energy of loneliness, and it really gives you a deep sense of belonging. There are people that you are expecting to see, and they're expecting to see you, and that's one of the really lovely things about community, right? It is that sense of belonging. Step 3, when you get there into those situations, enjoy yourself. Make it your business to have fun. You're not looking for a partner. You're not worried about who's looking at you, who's not looking at you. It's about having fun. That's why you're picking a community that's centered around something that you're passionate about, because it's going to take you out of that dating mindset. You know how they always say that when you're not looking is when the person shows up in your life, right? It's like part of the reason for that is that when you are focused instead on doing things that you love, your energy becomes so radiant. It is so the opposite of lonely or desperate. It is so beautiful and confident and joyful that you're just going to be, your natural magnetism is just all the way up in those situations. So the benefit of just going and thinking about enjoying yourself is that you don't need to be nervous about meeting anyone. And when you do meet someone in that setting, you're going to be relaxed. You're going to be, you're going to be uplifted. You're just going to be in a very confident and comfortable energy, which is the best energy for you to be in when you do connect with people. And step 4 is let the dating opportunities develop organically. So don't go with the sense of like, let me scope this out, let me check and see who I can chat with, who I can chat up and make a connection with, and those kinds of things. Literally just go and enjoy yourself. Let the dating opportunities develop organically. If you're the type of person who wants to be pursued, don't think that you have to go there and start pursuing other people. That's not how that works. The energy that you begin is the energy that you're going to continue in. So allow yourself to be romantically pursued. You know, you can be receptive to being pursued romantically in a gentlemanly kind of a way. So the problem that solves is that it takes the pressure off of you feeling like you have to make something happen or put yourself out there more. You're not worried about that. You're not trying to do that. And you don't have to date cold. You know, when someone does approach you, it's going to be someone that you already know you have things in common with. And it's going to be someone who is at least already a friend, right? They're going to be someone you're familiar with. And it's going to be a really easy kind of a situation. It's not going to feel difficult. It's not going to feel like a lot of pressure. It's not going to make you overly anxious. It's just going to be really easy and organic and gentle. Now, there's a very important caveat to all of this, and that is that while you are doing all of those things, while you are finding this community, while you are becoming a regular in this community, while you are focusing on enjoying yourself, while you do those weekly activities, you need to also focus on healing from the past. The older that we get, the more sort of baggage we bring with us into future situations. We have divorces that we need to heal from. We have heartache that we need to heal from. We have limiting beliefs about what's possible for us that we need to be able to clear and release. Beliefs that say things like, it's harder at my age to do this. The dating pool is more limited at my age to do this. I have clients all the way from 30s to 60s that attract their partner. It is not, those beliefs are a lie, but they feel very real because they take up a really big space in our energy. And then what happens is we manifest and attract situations that match those beliefs. And we think that we have the beliefs because we've been in the situations. But what happens is we are creating the situation by our belief. And until we break that pattern, we're going to keep creating that situation. So it's very important to do a deep dive into healing from the past. We sometimes have cords that are still connecting us to an ex from the past. We can have things that need to heal in our energy from our parents, because they're our number one and number two who teach us what love is supposed to be, what love is supposed to feel like. So healing from the past is important because it will make you feel much more confident as you're going out and doing these things. It will remove a lot of your insecurities. And it will just make you naturally much more magnetic, not only to love, but also to friendships. So for help with that, you can use my link in the description to schedule a consultation call with me. Now remember that it's a really great approach to use this, right? It's going to help you create a new outcome, but I don't want you to think of it as like a job now that you have to do, right? Because it's really important to remember that you don't make love happen, you make love welcome. So all of these things that you're doing with this are not about hustling and trying to make it happen. It's literally you feeding your spirit and being open to new connections with like-minded people. And you're being receptive to a dating opportunity coming out of that organically. Okay, so you don't make love happen, you make it welcome. And you do that by being in that lovely, happy, joyful energy. You do that by filling yourself up, filling up your heart so that you're not operating from a sense of intense loneliness. You do that by healing the wounds of the past. You do that by clearing out those limiting beliefs that you're carrying. So that's how you not only become the person who can attract happy, healthy love, but the person who can sustain it. Okay, that's really important. So now I want to hear from you. What passions are you interested in discovering a community around that you can join up with? You know, and what community are you going to connect with? Let me know in the comments. And remember that you don't make love happen, you make love welcome, and you do that by healing from the past.